Oh, hello YouTube. Welcome to 2024. And what better way to start 2024 by looking at some big flappy cocks and unsimulated sex scenes. Let's watch the trailer for Rotting in the Sun.
If you're doomed to live in torment, nothing can keep you from it. That is your fate.
Ahora, si me permites, acabo de llegar de Cicatela. Yo creo que igual y te hace falta.
Sí, Cicatela.
Sebastian, hi. Jordan Firstman. Like, I watched your movie last night. I watched Crystal Fairy and the Magic Cactus last night. Michael, Sarah, Gabby, Hoppin', like, I watched it. Follow me on Instagram, right?
I don't even know you.
You're not funny.
Inspire impersonation.
Your so wavy. You're the right person to work on the show with me.
Rotting in the Sun, released at the end in the UK, released on Mubi at the end of 2023, and I think it got maybe a little bit of a theatrical release at the end of the year before going on to Mubi. I think so. This is a title I think I knew the title of, but I really knew nothing about it really. Until I listened to Scroobius Pip's Distraction Pieces podcast this week, where he did his top films of the year, and he mentioned this on his podcast. And I think the combination of, I think his list he's always a really interesting person to listen to his end of year list. And this was a title that jumped out to me for been on his list, and one that I kind of knew enough about that it kind of registered that I had a little bit of a kind of awareness of it, but didn't really know anything about. And when I saw it was available on Mubi, I kind of jumped on it straight away and gave it a watch. So the story is, so in a nutshell, you would probably say it's probably like a meta dark comedy. It is directed by Sebastian Silva. It's someone that I wasn't really aware of at all. He is a director, and also he stars in this film as himself as a director. The film also stars someone called Jason Firstman, again someone I didn't really know at all, but is a big social media personality, and he plays himself in this film. And the story is essentially about, and this is where I'm going to be really cagey with details, because something happens in it fairly early on that is a fairly big twist. But essentially, in this film, Sebastian Silva, who plays himself, is a filmmaker who is having troubles in life, and someone recommends him to go to this nude gay beach, which he does, and that's where he then meets Jason Firstman, this influencer, and Jason Firstman wants to collaborate with Sebastian to do a project together. And then, so what really continues from then is the story about what happens when the two of them try to collaborate together. That's kind of, I think plot-wise, that's as much as I think you should probably know going into this. I think that's probably the best place to start from. Like I said before, it's very meta. The two play themselves. Like I said before, I didn't know who they were, so I kind of, they could have been anyone to me. But they are both quite... Sebastian Silva's character is almost like so emo and annoying and got first world problems that is not a particularly likable character, and Jason Firstman is a really obnoxious know-it-all, and is also a not particularly likable character, and this is a great example of you can watch something that's compelling about people that you don't like, and it still be a good experience. In fact, I would say this film is littered with characters, with the exception of maybe one person. There is maybe only one character in this film who I would consider to be someone that I think is likable. Everyone else in this is a sort of terrible human being. And that's what makes it all the more dark and malicious to enjoy. It deals very much heavily with the world of social media, obviously using Jason Firstman, who I'm told is big on Instagram. And it kind of very much deals with the social media kind of culture and, you know, influence of fame or notoriety. Lots of reviews that I've listened to this say that it's kind of a comment on social media, kind of influencer culture. I don't know whether I would say that too much, that it is a comment about that, other than it's maybe playing a little bit with a stereotype of what we think social media obsessed type people are. I don't really feel like this film is broadly looking at social media. It's just looking at a bit of a stereotype of a person who uses it. The film, so yeah, that kind of the plot, basically. Now, I think the big thing that stands out on why kind of this is a film that I would say is a extreme watch and is not for most people. And I said that quite a lot on kind of about a few of my films on my top 10 list. But this is an extreme watch in the sense that there is so both characters are gay and they meet on a nudist gay beach, so there are loads of penises in this. That in itself, not really got a problem. We see quite a lot of penises on even broadcast television. You see quite a lot of willies. Channel 4 in the UK, we have Naked Attraction, and you know, which is on terrestrial broadcast television. So there's a lot of penises in this. But what is probably quite shocking is there are so many, and they make a thing out of it, almost like you'll see someone's cock come into the shop before they actually kind of enter the frame. So you meet someone first by their dick more than anything else. So it is very kind of, it uses male nudity, and they really kind of use it for shock factor. The other thing probably which makes it more extreme is there are what I'm presuming pretty clearly are unsimulated sex acts in the film, which is really kind of shocking. And obviously they're unsimulated homosexual gay sex acts that you see in this. I think even if it was heterosexual, when you see heterosexual unsimulated acts on screen, that is also equally as shocking, and that's kind of thing that you see, you know, cocks in mouths and all sorts, and again this plays up to the kind of extreme shock factor of it, and I think that is something to be really kind of conscious of going into the film, because I think if you're not aware of that, it will be incredibly shocking. However, the film kind of uses it almost in humour rather than kind of being, it uses it in a comical way rather than trying to be kind of sexual almost. It kind of, it's, you're seeing these unsimulated acts almost kind of like for the shock jokey factor of it. Now the film is very kind of loose, shot off the cuff, very much kind of plays on that, this aspect that they're kind of these very kind of meta kind of characters and versions of themselves, and it has a kind of a lot of naturalism in it, which is kind of interesting to see. It's kind of low budget, it's kind of a mix between I'm guessing Latin American Spanish and English, predominantly in Latin American Spanish, it's a really kind of, I've heard people compare this film to almost being like Parasite or Triangle of Sadness, and in terms of, I think why people are making that comparison is that it's kind of like those that have and those that don't, and how the two treat each other. I can see why people that make those comparisons. I would kind of say this is kind of more akin to almost like an old school farce with people with misinformation kind of popping out of one door and then jumping through to the other one, and no one has a complete picture of what's happening, but everyone thinks that they're right, and it creates more and more chaos. That's kind of where I kind of feel like this kind of sits more. Like I said, none of the characters in this, or very few of the characters in this, are likable, and I think I don't know. Well, I'm going to say that they're not likable. I don't know if that is intentional or not, in terms of these, but no one in it you really root for. I think it's the kind of maniacal and ever evolving situation that you're in, been so kind of cringy and sort of tense, is where kind of the enjoyment factor of this film comes from. What else to say about it? kind of my gripes with the film, so it's kind of an extreme watch. I think, you know, you have to know that going into it, or that may put you off from watching it. My other kind of gripes with the film are not that the characters aren't likable. I think that's kind of, like I said before, is why it's quite sort of malicious and, you know, kind of like juicy to watch, really. Like these really unpleasant people. But one of the drawbacks for me is that it's about 150 minutes long. 1 hour and 50 minutes. The film really could have been like a tight 90 minutes and would have been much more enjoyable towards kind of like, I would guess, like, yeah, the second half of the film feels like it's really not really moving on that much. It's just kind of amping up the tension more, but nothing is really kind of building and evolving to it. And I think it would just have been nicer if this was like a really kind of lean 90-minute film, as opposed to kind of being like a nearly 2-hour film that kind of loses steam, you know, towards in the second half. So yeah, again, this is a really great watch that I kind of, you know, popped up on Scroobius Pip's best of the year list, and I was surprised when it was on Mubi. And then, again, I'm kind of a lover of and subscriber of the Mubi service, so when I kind of saw it was on there, I kind of gave it an immediate watch. So yeah, and I think it may be available to buy on Apple and Amazon as well if you're not subscribed to Mubi. So I would recommend it I definitely wouldn't recommend it for anyone of the faint of heart or with children around or watching it with your mum and dad. I definitely wouldn't recommend that. But, you know, if you want something that's a little bit different, give it a go. That's everything I've got. So if you've seen Rotting in the Sun, let me know down below in the comments. I can see someone's trying to call me now on my phone, so I better hang up. Not hang up, stop the video. All right, take care, bye.